because this is a different kind of division. This is the AFC South. Now, usually the AFC South, it's a mixed bag. You don't know what you're getting all the time. One injury can change the whole scheme of things, as we saw with Andrew Luck getting hurt. Let's start with the Colts right off the bat. Is Andrew Luck gonna come back and be the type of player we know he can be?
If Andrew Luck stays healthy, I think you have to pencil the Colts in as the favorite, only because he, more so than any other quarterback in this division, can take his team to that next level by his play alone. He is right now the type of quarterback that makes players around him better. So if he does play a full 16 games, if he's able to play to his ability, I think you have to pencil them in as the favorite. But again, they have so many questions as to who else is going to be there. What are they going to do defensively? They've been awful defensively since the Super Bowl. Their offensive line is a makeshift of who knows and who's healthy this week.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they don't, and that's why Luck is getting hurt, because they don't have anybody.
They got a pretty good center with Ryan Kelly, I will say.
Yes, he was a great pick. I thought it was a perfect fit. But they just have so many question marks. You don't really know. Can they win shootouts? I don't know. I mean, who else do they have outside of T.Y. Hilton to be able to really throw the deep threat to? I mean, they have Kobe Fleener.
No, they don't.
He just left.
Dwayne Allen is their starting tight end.
So, I mean, outside of T.Y. Hilton, who's going to be the next really consistent pass catcher?
Yeah.
I mean, they have the kid from Ole Miss. I'm blanking on the name.
Is it Moncrief?
Right now.
And they got Philip Dorsett.
Yeah, that they have these high expectations for these guys.
Yeah.
But until they actually step on the field and consistently put it together, the Colts are a who knows right now. I mean, it's a could be, what if.
My question, why did they ever get rid of Reggie Wayne? Why? Like, he seemed to be a great fit with Indianapolis, and they decided to go with Andre Johnson instead, which didn't work out.
Right.
But anyways, there's a lot of question marks on this team. You were mentioning all offense. I'm going to mention defense. Man, their cornerback situation absolutely stinks, but behind Vontae Davis.
Yes.
Patrick Robinson was the guy they re-signed. They gave him a lot of money, and he's been you could almost consider him a bust so far, because he was a first-round pick. So he's probably going to be starting opposite Vontae Davis, which doesn't look very good, considering that they're going to be going against guys like I'm blanking on his name, Hopkins, Allen Robinson, Allen Hurns, some big-time receivers.
Hey, I lost you for a second.
Can you hear me now?
Yep, I got you.
All right. We are recording, so.
Yep.
But anyways, I think it all comes down to Andrew Luck. I think Andrew Luck is a very, very special quarterback. If you're talking tiers, when he plays to his full potential, he is a top-tier quarterback. He might be number 2 or 3 behind Aaron Rodgers or Cam Newton, whoever you want at the top 2. He is that good, and I think he will be that good. So I have them winning the division at 9-7.
Okay. Yeah. You said it. I mean, this division is kind of a mixed bag here. You got to give me till the end of what we're talking about this to pick my division winner.
Yeah, okay, we can go to the next team. We'll go to last year's division winners, the Houston Texans. Now, the Houston Texans had a terrible quarterback situation last year. Ended up starting Brandon Weeden. Brian Hoyer ended up starting the playoff game against the Chiefs. They got obliterated 30-0. No surprise there. But now they think they have their franchise quarterback with Brock Osweiler. It's got mixed reviews, but granted, at least the quarterback situation right now is a lot more steady than it was 12 months ago.
I'm going to keep this mixed reviews on Brock Osweiler continuing.
All right.
And I am going to say that this absolutely blows up in their face.
Okay. Ooh,
I think that Osweiler is going to turn out to not be worth this money. I was never the biggest fan of his. I think he will be an adequate quarterback that can get them to the playoffs. How far in? I don't know. I don't think there's a big improvement talent wise, from what they had last year. But I don't. Brock Osweiler to me is not a franchise quarterback that is going to take them to the next level. I don't think signing him is going to change the difference in their record.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Now, did they? I believe they were 9-7 last year, or
9-7. I think they're going to finish in the same range. I mean, give or take 8-8 or 10-6.
In the 500 level, around there.
Right. Yeah, give or take a game.
Okay.
But I don't think it's going to be. They're not going to make that jump from 9-7 to an 11-5 or a 12-4.
Yeah, actually, I'm a lot more optimistic about Brock Osweiler. Brock Osweiler. He's only started a couple games, but on the other hand, I have them finishing 6-10 for a couple of reasons. The main reason is I think this division's a lot better than it was last year. I think not only the Colts, but there's another team I think that could be on the rise. We'll talk about later. But the other reason, I think it's going to take a year for Osweiler to kind of get adjusted to Bill O'Brien's system. Remember he playing behind Peyton and being coached by both Adam Gase and Gary Kubiak. It's a little different than what Bill O'Brien has in store, or what he wants. Now, he's got some really good receivers, DeAndre Hopkins, and another rookie receiver I like, Will Fuller. I think he could end up being really good. And as for defense, I mean, we go no further than J.J. Watt. I think we can expect at least 15 sacks out of him. And maybe Jadeveon Clowney's getting a little better. Maybe. Is
JJ going to play all 16 games this year?
Doesn't sound like it.
Yeah, that's going to be a huge. JJ Watt playing all 16 games or not playing all 16 games can determine whether Houston wins this division or finishes third or even fourth in this division. His health is going to be that big of an impact to me. And much like you mentioned, the Tennessee Titans are better, a lot better. The Jacksonville Jaguars are one of the fastest rising teams, much like the Oakland Raiders were last year in the NFL right now. Missing J.J. Watt, the best player in the NFL, is going to make that type of an impact that if he has to miss significant time, Houston could be one of the better teams that we've seen had the number one pick in a long time, because they could be that bad without J.J. Watt. Now, I completely agree with you on DeAndre Hopkins and Will Fuller, but the guy that did stick out to me that showed big improvements in the preseason is Jalen Strong. I really liked him coming out of school, and I want to see him perform very well. And then I saw things out of him in preseason that we saw from him in college 2 years ago that we didn't see last year. His ability to go get the ball, win the jump ball, make plays. He was really starting to catch on and do that in the preseason. I hope it can carry over. And if he's able to do that, Osweiler has three really, really good threats, which can kind of take away the blow from J.J. Watt. But ultimately, J.J. Watt the situation with his back is what's going to determine the outcome of their season.
So I think he's going to get 15 sacks still.
Yeah.
What for you, over under 10 sacks?
I'm going to say with a projection that he'll be on the PUP list. So I'm going to say he misses 6 games and he plays 10. I'm going to go over.
Okay.
Go over.
Still optimistic. All right.
That's if he's back by, week 7. That means if he plays 10 games, I'll give him 10 sacks in 10 games.
All right. Let's go to, as you said, one of the fast-rising teams in the league, the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, the Jacksonville Jaguars have been adding a lot of pieces, not only in free agency but also in the draft. They maybe had one of the best drafts in the this year, getting Jalen Ramsey in the first, and then finally drafting Miles Jack in the second round after there were concerns about his knees. But anyways, in free agency, they also picked up Malik Jackson and Chris Ivory. I'm not so sure about that pickup, seeing that they already have T.J. Yeldon, but nevertheless, it's a solid pickup. And of course, Blake Bortles had a very good season last year. People expect him to do even better, and he also has two very good receivers in Allen Robinson and Allen Hurns, aka the Allen Bunch. I just made that up. But what do you think about the Jaguars?
Yeah, this is gonna be I'm gonna take it from reality to fantasy in a minute. Ooh. But when I was definitely putting together my need to pay attention to for my fantasy draft board, I definitely had down I need to get Blaine Gabbert as a number 2 quarterback, and I need to get Allen Hurns or Allen Robinson as one of my receivers. I think that this offense, when you look at, you mentioned Chris Ivory, they already had T.J. Yeldon. You have Julius Thomas. If he can stay healthy and play the way that he played in Denver, their offensive line is definitely getting better. And then you mentioned the Allens on the outside. This can be a very, very dangerous offense if orchestrated correctly. And you mentioned the draft. An interesting conversation that I had the other day. I guess I never really thought about it before. But when you look at the quote-unquote rookies that the Jaguars are getting this year, you have Miles Jack, who was talked about as a top 5 lock heading into last season.
Yeah.
You know, the knee injury, as you said, was a red flag, but still a top 5 talent if healthy. You have Jalen Ramsey, who was arguably considered the best player in this draft. And you cannot forget number 3 pick Dante Fowler, who is coming back from a season-ending injury from last year. So you're adding 3 top 10 talent players who all play different positions, being a linebacker, pass rusher, and a corner, to this defense that has already been improving under head coach Gus Bradley.
Yeah, I mean, you hit it right, bullseye. I don't know what else to say, except I think they're going to be a very good team. I have them finishing second in the division, 7 wins. I think they got 6 wins last year, 5 or 6 wins. I can't remember, but
5-11.
They were 5-11. But I think this is a very good team, and I think maybe by the 2017 season they'll be in the playoffs.
Yeah, I'm gonna go here and make my predictions based off J.J. Watt being on the PUP list here.
All right.
And I am gonna say that if he does end up missing the first 6 games of the season, the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to finish number 2 in this division behind the Colts, and they will finish 8-8, and they will be eliminated from the playoffs in the last 2 weeks of the season. They will be a playoff contender up until week 14. But the young guys got to learn how to win, and I think that kind of hurts them a little bit in the big, meaningful games at the end of the season.
All right. Hopefully we're going to see some fans in the stadiums now. They're not going to need the tarps anymore.
Right.
They're not.
And apparently you don't need Tim Tebow to put fans in the seats because he's going to be playing baseball.
Hey, get him out there halftime. Get a couple home runs in.
Yes.
Yeah, he'd be good halftime entertainment. Anyways, let's talk about the Tennessee Titans. With obviously their new franchise quarterback. Is everything okay over there?
Yeah, no, I'm good.
Okay. I was a little worried. But obviously, their new poster boy is Marcus Mariota. He showed some flashes his rookie season, but really, his injury kind of more or less ended his rookie year. Now you got Mike Mularkey, who was their interim head coach, now made permanent head coach. And if they had one big improvement, it's running back. They got DeMarco Murray, and then they also drafted Derrick Henry, the Heisman Trophy winner. Now, at wide receiver, they've made a couple changes. They added Andre Johnson, but they also just traded Dorial Beckham-Green to the Philadelphia Eagles. So that's interesting, I think you could say. So what do you think about the Tennessee Titans? Are they going to make the playoffs, or is this just a bunch of malarkey?
I think they definitely show improvement. They were 3-13 last year. I think they will win more games than that. If they don't, I think they'll show definitely better, that they're harder to defeat than they were last season.
Okay.
I think offensively, this team is really going to have to lean on the running game. You mentioned at receiver, they definitely have some holes, and trading Dorial Green-Beckham was definitely a huge deal, being that he led all rookies in yards per catch last year. And he definitely has a lot of talent and could have ultimately been a 1,000-yard receiver for them potentially.
Yeah.
Delaney Walker, I would not be surprised if he is their top target getter and top receiver for this season.
He was last year.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if that is again. But I think that this team is going to come, for at least this season until they add more pieces offensively, is going to come down to how well the defense plays and the run game. I mean, leaning on Derrick Henry and DeMarco Murray, both two bigger guys who can definitely handle a load. And I think they have some good pieces on defense. Jarrell Casey at D tackle, it starts up front, is an absolute monster. I think he gets overlooked quite a bit. But I think that's kind of where this team is headed, a run the ball play defense style. And Mariota's just going to have to pick his spots and learn how to stay healthy and stay on the field if this team's going to expect to win down the road.
Man, I cannot wait to watch Derrick Henry play. I mean, he's huge. He's a monster.
Yeah.
Man, and interesting, in the preseason, if you've been watching Titan preseason games, he's been wearing number 2. So, he's been trying. He wanted the number 24, I believe, but that is worn right now by Parrish Cox.
Okay.
So I think he's just waiting to see what number's going to be available once all the cuts are made. So, but you don't see that very often.
Well, and the crazy thing is the only part that upsets me about this, with them letting him wear number 2, is because I was the kid who was super excited to buy a number 5 Reggie Bush
jersey.
And the NFL told him that he could not wear the number 5 if he was going to be a running back. Based on his position, he was not allowed to wear that number. So if they let Derrick Henry wear number 2 here, my 16-year-old self is going to be very upset.
No, they won't. They won't. That's the rules. Because I think the number system simplifies everything. Otherwise, if they didn't have that, you'd have like Vince Wilfork wearing number 1, and that'd just be ridiculous.
Yeah, it's all based off of being able to run trick plays and eligibility, things like that. It's really, really weird, and it's a problem that actually we ran into, or are running into, at Concordia with our special teams unit.
Yeah.
In order to run fakes, guys have to be able to wear certain numbers.
Okay.
So therefore, we can't let any of our bigger bodies, offensive linemen, and some of our defensive linemen who have numbers from 50 to 79, even some of our linebackers, can't be on special teams because we can't run fakes with them on the field.
Wow.
Because their numbers are considered ineligible.
You guys have the number system in college?
We can wear, so guys can wear whatever number they want, but if you're between 1 and 49 and 80 and 89, you are considered eligible to catch a
Okay.
pass.
All right,
And
that makes
the number,
sense.
You know what I mean?
Right,
So,
right. I mean, because you see so many running backs, like you said, Reggie Bush, wear single digits.
Right.
Okay. So, I just want to make this clear. What is your division order for the South?
Colts are going to be the only team to make the playoffs this year.
Okay.
The Jaguars will finish 2. The Texans will find a way to get hot when J.J. Watt returns. 3. And the Tennessee Titans will finish 4th.
Yeah, I got the same thing.